I don't think like our audience knows how hard in the paint I am for Space Jam.
I don't get it, man.
I don't either. I watched it for the first time probably like my freshman year of college, and I was like, oh.
When I was a kid, I loved that movie.
You know what's funny is it's the thing that got me so in. The thing that got me so into Space Jam, not the movie itself, but there was it
was Lola Bunny. We already know, dude.
Picture book. No, it's not Lola. There was a companion picture book.
Get over it.
That like came out with the movie.
Man, it's just a drawing.
Welcome to Indistinct Chatter. I'm Tanner.
I'm Austin.
You have 24 hours to start the show, or people will die. What do you think about that, Tanner?
People will die. Starting tonight.
Welcome to Indistinct Chatter. I'm Tanner.
I'm Austin.
I'm Griffin.
And I'm Vlad.
Welcome to the show.
That was fucking weird, man.
Let's get into it. Let's check in first. How's it? We did not talk a whole ton this week. Like, what's new? Griff, you went on a little trip.
Yeah, I went to North Carolina, visited my little sister. She goes to school at Duke. Yeah, it was my first time out to Durham seeing her, and it was a good time.
The Devils.
Yeah, the little devils. Putting some faces to the names of all the friend stories that she's been telling me and everything, and just exploring a different area of North Carolina is kind of considered the South, but yeah, it was cool. You went to DC. It was my second time there, but very.
Dude, the cherry blossoms were gorgeous.
They were pretty gnarly. Yeah, with
Those
the photo that my
really
sister
pretty.
posted. Yeah.
Speaking of cherry blossoms, did you guys hear about that? That was the earliest recording cherry blossom fall in Japan, like ever.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like a week ago. It was like the earliest recording, like start of the spring cherry blossoms in Japan.
Because they fall off, and then that's like sakura season when they're like falling off the trees, and it gets pretty wild out there.
It's CNN was like, first ever recording of cherry blossoms. We're in danger. Like it literally was like, this is why that's a bad sign.
Yeah, because it's getting colder sooner.
Or do you mean hotter sooner?
No, it's getting colder sooner because it's. Oh no. Yeah. It's getting warmer sooner. My bad.
Warmer for them. They're not flipped.
No. It's getting warmer sooner. Yeah, when it should be still cold. I mean, when I went to Seoul and I went in mid-April to late April or mid-April to early May. There were some days where it was like 30 degrees, and there were some days where it was like 70 degrees. I mean, it got warm, and it was
sounds like the Midwest.
Yeah, it's dude, awful. Like you'll wake up and it'll be 28 degrees. And you're like, okay, it's cold today, and then you'll start walking around, and then you're like wearing a wool coat.
So like, I had that. Like, I lived in St. Louis for a year. Y'all know that, and I swear, and I say this all the time. Everyone in St. Louis is part of a cult. Like literally, there's like the same 5 things that everyone will tell you. If you're not from St. Louis and you tell them that, big mistake, because they'll all tell you the same things. They'll be like, "Did you know the gate, like the arch is the gateway to the west?"
The gateway to the west.
Will tell you that. But another thing is the weather thing. They'll be like, "Well, if you don't like the weather in St. Louis, just wait a day and it will change." Everyone tells you that in the same tone, but they were right. Like literally, we would have like 70-degree days, and then the next day would be snowing, and I'd be like.
More consistent.
That's Arizona sometimes, and it is the same thing with like the constant. No, when it's hot, it's hot. There's no escaping that. But
like spring and fall, is it up and down?
Constantly flipping.
When it's hot,
you
it's
also
hot.
have people who are doing the same like 3 speeches all the time. It's always the whole but it's a dry heat.
No, actually, that's the thing is everyone.
It's the humidity.
Everyone
it's
in and from Arizona
it's
fights that it's not a dry heat.
Well, it's not a dry heat because you're sweating your ass off and you get real moist.
People from out of Arizona will always be like, but at least it's a dry heat. And I've heard so many people from Arizona being like, but it's not.
It is. It's like 2% humidity.
Yeah, it's 100% a dry heat.
I think it's just that.
And you can tell the difference living here in San Diego, where some days it'll be insanely humid, like insane humidity. And you're like, this sucks ass. And then some days it's like 90 and it's 2% humidity. Like, yeah, this is totally bearable with like a cool
That's like
breeze.
The valley. That's like up here. It's the worst.
I mean, like that humidity is just the worst thing in the world. I remember being in Puerto Rico, and you'd walk outside and you'd wear a t-shirt.
I can already picture what
there would be sweat on your shoulders, like sweat lines up here because of the humidity gathering on top of your. It's insane.
Makes
You
sense.
can't
Dude,
wear
I'm
jeans.
It's crazy.
You can barely wear a t-shirt. It's so fucking hot. I was in a tank top. I remember going, like, I had really nice like dress shorts on. You guys used to work at the place that shall not be named. Do you remember we used to have dress shorts?
Yeah.
Like nice short. I used to have a bunch of pairs of like really nice shorts. Had those and loafers and like a nice short sleeve button up. The guy's like, you can't wear shorts in here. And I'm like, it's 99 degrees at nighttime and it's 100% humidity. What the fuck do you want me to do? Like, it's
linen
so
pants, bitch.
And then everybody has
You'd
like
ruin
jeans and a
them.
hoodie on.
If you wore linen pants, dude, that'd be the last night you wear them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, come on in.
Come in, you
my
fucking
bad. I
weirdo.
locked it. Guys, I think we have a guest.
Wait, do you have? Oh my God, Griffin.
Let's
Our
guess his
first
name.
guest of the
What's his name?
podcast.
Greg? He looks like a Greg.
Kyle.
You said Greg and Kyle.
Kyle.
They really-
Darren?
If it's Rodney, I'm gonna
white.
be upset. Rodney would have been my first guess.
Yo,
My
All
fault.
right, my boy.
he looks
Them bitches
so
out.
uncomfortable.
Welcome.
What's up, man?
It's the camera, but I always address straight up. Yeah, because you haven't watched the show, have you? No. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
Why
one
not?
of my oldest
Fuck
friends,
outta here.
and he's an unsupportive piece of trash.
What can I say?
What's his name?
Oh yeah, so this is my buddy Lucas.
Nice to meet you.
Damn.
I told y'all.
Yeah, you said Greg and Kyle. Get out of here.
I told y'all. Listen.
Actually, you introduce yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've known Griffin forever since like we went all the way back to what, sophomore year of high school.
I've known him longer. Sorry.
Take it easy.
And
That's
I lived
tight.
2 years. Pretty shitty roommate, worst friend.
Aren't we all?
Nice. I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we have the same energy over the chat, like when we're DMing each other that we do, where it's just basically calling each other terrible names and variations of slurs the whole time. But
Nice, man.
yeah, he's the homie.
What else is male friendship but being terrible to each other?
Exactly, man. I mean, it's guys being dudes, right?
That's how all great friendships are built upon.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, we just get absolutely trashed and watch too much Star Wars
Oh,
together.
yeah, that's always fun.
Beautiful.
Two,
Kind of
yeah.
vibes is. I think the
That's-
coolest fact about him is that he's a nice Jewish fellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Shout out-
minority on the pod.
Exactly. Yeah. We got Vlad, the
Oh.
white guy, but then the rest of us are all people of color.
I'm an
But
immigrant.
Vlad's European.
Yeah,
So,
Vlad's an immigrant.
I'm literally an immigrant.
So ask my
Where's
buddy
your dad from?
Brazil.
Oh, sweet.
No way.
Brazil. Where in Brazil is he from?
From the south in a city called Porto Alegre. And then my mom's from Rio.
Rio, nice. I have
You're
I have a really good friend in Sao Paulo.
Austin, no.
Yeah.
Do you speak
That's why they're white.
Portuguese?
Brazilian.
What?
No, it's Brazilian. There's a difference between Portuguese and Brazilian.
I've never heard about this. What's the difference?
One's Portugal, one's Brazil.
No, but Brazilians
So, like,
speak
but Mexicans-
Portuguese.
Oh yeah, no, they do, yeah.
I mean,
But
it's
Mexicans
colonization,
speak
right?
Spanish.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying. I was saying, do you speak Portuguese?
Oh, do I speak Portuguese? Yeah.
Okay,
he
okay.
speaks
I was like,
Brazilian
there's no
Portuguese.
language called
Oh,
Brazilian.
okay.
What are you talking about?
No.
He speaks
No.
Brazilian Portuguese,
No,
like how we
Portugal
speak
Portuguese
American
is so
English.
ugly.
There's no difference. It's more of a pigeon, if anything.
Have you
Yeah.
guys ever heard Portuguese?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear it for the longest time.
Sounds like
so
fucked
it's
up
like-
Italian.
Wait,
No,
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
I feel like
Griffin,
what?
Asshole
have
Italian.
you ever
yeah.
heard Vlad speak Romanian?
It's like fucked up Spanish.
It's the coolest shit in the world. I can't even deny it.
Is it pretty gnarly?
It's,
Romanian's cool.
it
It's a romance
terrifies me every-
language.
because I always forget that
It
he
is a
can
romance.
speak. I always forget he can speak Romanian, and every now and then he'll be on the phone with his grandma, and he'll just go in, and I'm like, "What the
There's
fuck?" Like,
actually
what
proof
kind
that
of
it's the
sleeper
oldest
agent
romance
bullshit
language.
is this? What?
It's the
Is-
oldest romance language.
Yeah, Austin's right.
It's older.
Romanian?
It's like it's the closest to Latin that anybody speaks. Yeah, Romanian's it's like Romanian, and then like Italian's like 1,000 years. It's like really old language.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, Romanian's it's the closest to Latin. There's like it's tough because Romanian history is very Romanian centered, as like most cultures are. But like if you ask Romanians, like a lot of people will say that Romanian existed, like what is now current Romanian existed before Latin, which doesn't make any sense. But, like that's that's the same thing. Like the Wright brothers like built the first plane. The first jet was like created, like invented by a Romanian, or so Romanians say. I still don't believe that.
No, that's what our Brazilians are. They say the first plane was built by Brazilians.
See, exactly.
Hmm.
Like no, you know what I mean? But yeah, with the language thing, Romanian's really old. Yeah, it's the closest to Latin.
So here's the question then, because we teach that in America that an American guy created the plane. Is that just our own propaganda too, jerking ourselves off?
Well, my thing with the Romanian is that it's specifically the jet,
the first
like
jet.
The first like jet engine.
Jet engine is
airplane.
different, yeah.
Not like an airplane and everything. That's I'm pretty sure the Wright brothers. I think that's still accurate. Who knows? Apparently, a piece of the Wright brothers plane is going to be on a rover going to Mars, or like a helicopter flying around Mars.
Why?
I read that today because it's like where like the whole where we were and where we are. Like that's the idea.
Cool. It's like waste a bunch of taxpayer money to send this shit to space because.
I was gonna say, I guarantee by the time that if humans actually colonate to Earth, or sorry, if they colonate to Mars, I guarantee they're just gonna be like, yo, what, like, fuck Earth. Like, no one's gonna talk about it. No one's gonna be like, oh my god, we miss Earth. We're gonna be like, yo, this is our home now. Yeah. This is just what it is.
21 should definitely be the peak of your drinking.
You said 21?
Maybe like 22, 23, yeah.
I blacked out on my 21st.
Because you start at like what, 16 is when you start drinking.
Jeez.
And then 17, I probably started at like 14 or 15.
I still haven't started.
I was 21.
I have did you older do nothing all through your underage years, Tanner?
When I was like 19, I started drinking hard apple cider. And that was like
in high school, he would drink them all the time.
No, not in high school. It wasn't until post high school. Like literally, I think I was 18 when I had my first alcoholic beverage, like fully, and it was when I went to visit my sister in college.
I was gonna say like
it was like
having older siblings around makes it really easy. I have 3.
Well, that's the thing. My sister was away at school and on the summers because come from a divorced family. On the summers she would spend them with my mom. Kids. And I lived with my dad. So, I mean, we spend time together, but, yeah, no, that wasn't like a thing, but Olivia was the same. Like she didn't drink really in high school or anything until she got to college because our dad put the fear of God into us. But,
and he watches this.
My dad, I'll just say this. Way. My dad's the cool parent.
I don't know how you felt when you turned 21. But I remember my first time walking into, we had a Safeway right by our house in college. And I was picking up a 30-pack of probably like Coors or something.
Did it feel so good the first time you buy beer?
Well, I was going to say, it didn't feel good the first time I did it. The whole time I was there, I was scared because like, first off, like just one day ago, you were a child and now you can buy alcohol. But like, it's also, I was sitting there thinking to myself, this shouldn't be allowed because you're still buying poison, you know? Like, I don't think that I think that it's better to have a younger age to buy alcohol, like 18 in a lot of countries, right?
Yes, so you can get it out of your system.
Exactly. But at the same time, I was still sitting there as a 21-year-old who's already been drinking for years, allegedly. And I was just sitting there pissing and shitting my pants the whole time because I'm like, I shouldn't be allowed to just buy all of the alcohol that I want here until my credit card goes away.
Dude, I asked the shit out of you. Your 21st.
Oh yeah, dude, this guy's fucked me up. All my friends have fucked me up way too much. Were you ever one who like put it underneath my bed, like my mattress and all that kind of stuff?
Done that,
yeah.
I was poor though, so I could only buy you a 6-pack at the time.
Yeah, broke boy things. Yeah, if you ever
icing people.
Yeah, dude, the best way to ice people, I always used to put it under their beds in their under their pillows in their beds so that when they go to sleep, they have to take the ice right before.
Throw it out the window.
What does icing mean? What is that?
Don't tell him. We'll just do it. We'll just do it to him at some point.
I know where all of you live. Go ahead and do it.
Vlad also won't participate. He just won't drink it.
I think he will because it doesn't taste like alcohol.
It's
do you like
disgusting.
lemonade, Vlad?
It's like, no, it tastes like soda.
Yeah, I love lemonade.
It straight up tastes like lemonade.
Cool. We're gonna ice
carbonated lemonade.
Carbonated.
You're not gonna ice me. Tell me what it is.
No.
I think somebody got iced in.
No,
it was like 120
what icing is
Smirnoff Ice outside.
Basically, icing is someone will hide or put a Smirnoff ice, like a bottle of Smirnoff Ice somewhere, and whoever finds it has to get down on one knee and just chug it.
Why? Why do people
do that? Because it's awesome. Because you can.
That's so dumb.
But the thing about icing is it's probably one of the few alcoholic beverages that you genuinely can just chug that shit because it just tastes like lemonade,
like sugar.
If I had to do that with a beer, I would get halfway through and be like, "I'm good, guys, thanks." But I could easily those Smirnoff things.
Phone spotted. Lucas doesn't want to be here.
He's like, I don't. You're right.
He's like,
do my phone.
He's like, I came to drop off a key, and Griffin fucking wrote me into this shit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bullied
he
my
did.
friend into this joint. This girl we went to high school with posted a video on her story. It was like a TikTok, like a montage of all of their photos. And it said, appreciation post for the man who is cheating on me with his ex. Was supposed to move in next week too. And it's just a montage of them with songs going in the background. And like you see that stuff on Twitter all the time, but it happened to someone you know.
Shit.
Yeah, and I saw him tweet today, like he blacked out his account and like everything, and he just, oh God, what did he say? He said something along the lines of like, well, this sucks, I won't do that again.
My bad.
My
My bad,
Yeah, my fault, OG.
My fault, OG.
My fault, OG.
No.
I'll send it to
He
you.
was like Caliucci, so and then he was like her song like called Back to the Streets, and she just posted that on her story, and I'm like, wow.
Oh, that girl's about
Back
to have
to
the
the
time
streets.
of her life. Yeah.
I'd let
What does dude
Caliucci's
post?
fucking wear my skin.
Yeah, he blacked out his
She's
account.
bad.
See?
Oh.
He blacked it out and he said, damn, lesson fucking learned. This shit is awful. Word? You think so, man?
I also wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't if I had a girlfriend and she cheated on me, I wouldn't blast her on social media like that.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Are you talking about cheating on your girlfriend, Lucas?
No, he's saying if his girl cheated on him.
That
You mean
zoom
my
and the
hand?
little-
Look at that son of a
the
gun.
little tongue and
Zoom
eye,
in.
like side glance. Oh, that was great.
Oh, so it was, huh?
He said, you mean my hand?
Yeah, little Jill right here.
Jack and Jill. Get it?
Yeah.
All right, man, you can go.
All
Thanks for having me.
So
No,
Griffin,
it's
Tanner,
cool.
you both have things you kind of want to talk about.
Yeah, so
Topeka.
coming home from work the other day,
No
I
tokens.
had a really weird epiphany that's kind of messing with me. It's the fact that, okay, it was actually the day that I sent you guys a photo of my workstation in the office. And Vlad, you replied saying something along the lines of "looks like shit" or "looks boring."
Couldn't have been me.
Why
There's
does he
no
swear?
way. There's no
Why
way.
does he swear? It couldn't have
There's
been
no way.
Vlad.
No, it's not that. But there's no way I said that about your
No.
office space.
You absolutely did. And I was, because
There's no way that I
Looks like
said
shit.
you absolutely did.
You're not
Guys, look
gonna
at my
find the
office.
message.
Looks like shit.
I would have said that for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
say that sounds like something.
It was probably Austin, to be honest.
No, I know it was Vlad because he and I were the ones going back and forth the most in the moment. But either way, it
That's
did
fine.
look boring because I happen to have a spreadsheet on one side and some like generic.
Oh, it was your laptop, and it was you looking at stuff. Yeah, okay. I think
Yeah.
I said it. That just looks boring or something.
What? Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah,
and with the
definitely.
passive aggressive like thumbs up emoji type stuff.
yeah. Okay. Okay, I think that was me.
So and like my main thing was like being a photographer, but the photo game sucks, whatever. That's my side hustle these days. And now I'm working as a marketing guy. But one thing I very quickly thought of after that, not that you mess with me, Vlad, I already had these thoughts, but I was sitting there thinking to myself, dude, none of the work that I'm doing is real. Meaning like I'm
None of it ever is.
Well, so like
Never
I'm
was.
sitting there and I'm working on,
It's
I'm
not
looking
real.
at a
It never
spreadsheet,
was.
which is just some crap. And I'm looking at some posters, which is just like some more crap. And I'm posting them to social media on a really obscure server that doesn't do anything, could get shut off one day. And it's like, what is
Dude,
really
nothing's
my
real,
work?
man.
Yeah, like, and it,
Yeah, he beat me by 1 second.
yeah, and it's like this is something that's especially native to the digital world that we now live in. And I was just kind of sitting there. I'm like, what? I guess part of me thinks about what is the purpose of creating
There isn't
something.
one.
What's
Did you
like
know
the
this show isn't real?
We're not real.
Bunch of ones and zeros. I mean,
It's
we're
all
as real as-
Stardust, man.
that kid
Where
who
the
walked in,
universe
I've never seen him
expands.
before in my
That
life.
dude was CGI. That was CGI.
Yeah, Tupac's hologram was actually just
Time is an
a
illusion.
prototype for him. But yeah, so I was
Stuckness is a
basically-
construct.
I was basically just sitting there thinking to myself, because I think about with my photography a lot, like now that we're in the digital age, everything just exists on one of these guys. I feel like gone are the days where if this is my hard drive, lad. Gone are the
What
days
is that?
where,
Is that
like,
a Game Boy?
Photos, Game Boy.
iPhone 4? The fuck is
Yeah, literally, I was like, is that an iPhone 4 in a jelly phone case?
I think about it a lot with like my photography and stuff because like we will get to a point where society will collapse. Just
5
inherently, the world will eventually kind of collapse regardless. That's just
great thing
the
to say
nature
about
of
this.
geology and stuff. And it's like, dude, my art will effectively turn into nothing because it's all digital on bullshit servers. 100 years from now, are they even going to have the cord to read this thing? You have a physical negative with film, but that's not a thing anymore. So it's like, what's the purpose of creation in the digital age? Is part
Okay,
of my
but
job.
here's my question: if you had a physical negative and that just burned up, it's nothing. Like it's literally, it's honestly it's truthfully between physical and digital, everything's the same. It's just one is physically tangible and the other is not. But like once you lose shit, you just lose it. Like that's
maybe the point was the friends we made along the way.
So
thanks for watching Indistinct.
Wait a minute.
Do you guys know who Joe Beretta is?
Yes.
Does anybody here know what Baratzen Beretta is? Even before that, just wondering.
No.
Wait, I didn't hear the first thing you said. What'd you say?
Joe Beretta. He's a white guy from Montana or some shit. Anyways, so Baratzen Beretta is an OG YouTuber, like for original YouTubers. He was on a podcast and he has 3 kids. And one of the other podcast hosts was like, why do kids destroy shit? Like, why do they break stuff? Like, for the purpose of breaking things, they enjoy it. And he said, one of the only ways you can affect things on a large scale is destruction. You can create stuff, but it's always going to be destroyed. If you are the one destroying something, you are making real change. You can actually change things by getting rid of something or making it different than it was by breaking it in some way. And that's how kids like learn their place in the world, that they learn that they can affect things in any sort of way, whether it's positive or negative. They can destroy things. Like this cup is a cup, and then once I smash it, it doesn't do what it used to do. It's just the pieces of what it was. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with like you said, creating in the digital age. You can create as much as you want. I'm looking at Spider-Man Miles Morales right here, right? It took years of, developing or whatever, but ultimately it's a bunch of ones and zeros. The only way you can really make change with that, because we can all take that information in, but that only exists within us. The only way you can truly change it is by destroying it, because where it once was, it no longer is. I think the whole thing about creating in the digital age is, what you can do is you can give it to people and then you can take it away from them. That's really the only way you can actually change people, I think, or change things in the digital space, because everything's just ones and zeros now.
No, because if you look at things, no one really cares about what comes into the world or what's created, but people care when it's gone, like obviously.
Exactly.
What?
Yahoo,
exactly. They announced that today.
Yahoo Answers is getting shut down, and
rest in
now
peace,
everyone's like, "No, I miss it."
Exactly. Or even like,
but to be honest, Yahoo Answers had a lot of answers for stuff that you wouldn't think is still being asked.
No, but just like people, think about people. Someone's born. No one
DMX.
gives shit. I was literally gonna say, DMX.
He's
like,
in the hospital. He's probably
homie. He is however old he is. For the longest time, people just wrote him off. No one gave a shit. Whatever. Now the man is facing death, and I have never seen more people talk about DMX than right now. Like, that's fucking insane to me. And that's also just incredibly.
What? When did this happen?
That's just like incredibly sad.
He's in the hospital.
I see that he's on critical brain. I'm reading up on it right now.
Yeah,
he's on like life support. His real name is Earl Simmons.
Yeah, Earl.
Wow.
I feel like
there's a TV show. There's a TV show called Revolution. It's a really good show. It only went for like 2 or 3 seasons. Giancarlo Esposito's in it. He's like the bad guy. And then some other actors you wouldn't recognize. He ends up being a good guy though. Spoiler alert. If you want to watch Revolution from like 2015 or whatever. Basically the idea of the show is that everything that's digital just doesn't work anymore. Like batteries don't work. Nothing works. Like you can turn stuff on, but you can't like charge it. So like this lady has a phone that she turns on every once in a while, but like you can't charge it. Cars don't work. And there's this guy who's like a proxy for like some tech dude, and he's like, yeah, you guys lost a lot, but you still had like gold and silver and stuff like that, and you could still use that to trade. He said 100% of his net worth was digital. He lost everything. He lost $90 billion in a second. And like, that's the scary thing, is that money today is like more than 70% is all digital. We're trading digital money. It's like, how does that even make sense? Like, I buy something with my number in my bank account online, and it goes to their number on their bank account online. And I guess you can go and take it out, but like, whoever does, that number is just like on a computer. Like Jeff Bezos' net worth is just, it's just a credit. It's just a number. And like, where's that server that holds that? You know what I mean? Like, who owns that 0 and that 1? That's just kind of interesting. But that show's really good. You should watch it. It's about nanotech and shit. But yeah, I mean, what was the question again? What was the topic?
I mean, I don't know.
It
wasn't as much a question as it was like that revelation of how it's like, damn, bro, like in this kind of digital age, nothing exists. And by proxy, it's like, it doesn't matter. Because for a moment, I was even thinking to myself, damn, bro, for a second, I was like, I'm going to get a job on the factory floor of like some car manufacturer. That way I can see a VIN number of a car I actually worked on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like, that is a thing I have created, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's like, am I creating images? Yeah. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got plenty of them. I got thousands of them on this hard drive. But like,
is that the cockpit on the left, to furthest left?
Behind him. Yeah.
That's fucking sick. Yeah.
It's I think I saw that on your Instagram. It's over half my height. That big.
It's in Tanner's apartment too.
Yeah.
It's horizontal though. His is vertical.
It's just so like, I'm a sucker for quotes and stuff. And like a quote that I think back to is it's something along the lines of like, if nothing we do matters, then all that matters is what we do. Mm-hmm. And it like comes down to like, literally there's no, like, if you really want to get into like the realistic, and some would argue it's pessimistic view on life, like nothing matters, entropy is inevitable, like we'll all be gone eventually, like, you know what I mean? Like 100 years from now, 1,000 years from then, who knows what will exist anymore.
1,000 years from now, we won't ever have existed. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of us will be gone. And that's kind of crazy to think that 1,000 years is like not that long.
And then going back to like what y'all were saying about it's funny how something like when it's gone, that's when people are talked about. And that's the whole idea of like, life is ironic. Like it takes like silence to value. What is it? There's another quote, but one of the parts of the quote, it ends with, it takes absence to value presence. And that's our view on like everything. I don't have the answers to life. I don't have the answers to like what the point is or our purpose or anything, but something that I've gathered that kind of keeps me moving forward is the idea of like memories. And that's what I think human history and like what we are in our existence is based on. Like memories, we're storytellers. Like humans have been storytellers since like the dawn of our existence. From cave paintings to now, we're talking on like a show, you know, making like a podcast type thing. I think at the end of the day, everything we are the stories that we carry with us and the stories that we can leave with other people. And if you can share them with someone else and, you know, make your memories, and even better to make someone else some memories too, like give some memories as well, then I feel like that's the point. And you might be making spreadsheets or taking photos. Tanner might be making films, you know, Austin might be styling. At the end of the day, if you're making memories, I think that's the point.
I was just going to say, truthfully, for me, I don't, it might be seen as like dark, but I truly don't like give a fuck what's left behind. I think like everything in what you're living in is essentially all that matters. Like I'm not a very religious person. I truly don't, I'm not going to say I don't know. Like that's what I'll say. I don't know if there is an afterlife or anything like that. I genuinely do not know. I do know for a fact your body goes into the ground. Past that, I'm not going to, because I don't believe I'm an atheist. I think I'm more agnostic because I genuinely don't know. There could be, and I'm fucking game for that shit. There could be reincarnation. Fucking sign me up. Cool. I could just go to sleep and that's just it. I'm asleep forever. But no matter what the outcome is, whatever that afterlife is, anything you did or are doing in your current life doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like that's just that's truly what it is.
So
like,
that's
you can't die with it, you know.
nihilism.
So it's like
just happened.
Fucking happen. What'd you say, Austin?
Nihilism. It's the idea that nothing has any inherent value, like cosmically, and that's like you know, a proven fact. Nothing has any value, right? Like that's like
well, it's not that it's a proven thing, it's that it hasn't been disproven.
No, but it's like,
but I know
so the idea is that like we can say like gold has a value and diamonds have a value until an asteroid made of gold and diamonds crashes into the earth and the economy crashes, and then those things mean nothing. And so everything that has value is because we give value to it as people. And it's funny when you look at it on that scale, right? And it's like, yeah, like this like I have, you know, however much money in my wallet that has a value that we've given it, but then like that could crash tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And when you say that to somebody, they understand that. But then and then when I say, oh yeah, and then nothing you do matters either, and like on a cosmic level, and then people are like, no, that's not right. And you're like, well, it's the same thing. It's just,
I agree, and I get that that's a thing. Like, and what I mentioned was like that it hasn't been proven; it's just not been disproven.
Yeah,
because like it's the idea of like nothing's really proven. You know, like the whole hypothesis idea. Like the hypothesis is as nothing that we do, because we'll never actually confirm that, but we'll never disprove it. I think because our brains couldn't comprehend even if we could disprove it.
The whole idea is that
I get the whole like nothing matters.
Yeah.
Well, I that's exactly my point. You give value.
Can that be the title of the episode? Nothing matters.
Well, I get what people mean when they're saying like nothing matters, you know, like I get it. And I always argue, at least to me, everything matters, because to me, literally everything matters.
Yeah, because you give value to it. And that's why it's important to you. And that's beautiful that you can choose for yourself that you give value to those things. You know what I mean? Like that's, you do that for you. And nothing makes that decision for you. And like, don't let anybody tell you that shit doesn't matter, because it matters to you. And so it matters. And like, that's the whole point, is that if it matters to you, then it does matter. But like, also, it doesn't, because you're the one who's giving it that value.
Yeah, essentially nothing matters except
for what you give a shit about. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's truthfully like something you give a shit about doesn't matter to me.
No.
And vice versa. So it's
but I care about you guys, and I care about what you matter.
Well, it's like it's like that first quote that it's like the first quote that I said, like it's like the first quote that I said, like if nothing that we do matters, then everything that we what is it? It's
my camera.
What is it?
Right there. You're right there. If everything that we do doesn't matter, then what we do matters. Something along those lines.
Yeah, it was something like, I literally forgot the own quote that I quoted, and I don't know whose quote it is, but it was like, if everything that we do doesn't, or if nothing that we do matters, then what matters is everything we do. That's what it is.
Yeah, what you said, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I was trying to say it, and I fucking couldn't get it.
Guys, look at my chair. Do you see my chair? How it wiggles?
Is it broken?
Yeah, the left handle. Like earlier this week, I was like leaning on it, and I'm a thick boy, so the chair basically broke.
Nice.
Join the.
So we got two broken chairs. I sit on my bed when I record, and then Tanner's on. Tanner's on.
I sit on a chair that belongs to a man who's now dead. I got this chair from my old roommate's uncle, his great. So this is what happened. So my old roommate, he had an uncle who was like super rich and just had a bunch of cool shit, ton of money, all this stuff. But he was like, no, it's my money. Like, I don't want to give it to any, like homie didn't have a will or anything. He was just like, oh, it's my money, and when I die, why am I gonna give it to other people? Like, it like basically
I want it. Bury me with my money.
Essentially. Not like homie had multiple cars, all of this stuff, whatever. But so when the man unfortunately passed, my old roommate, he went with his family to clear out the dude's house, and they were essentially like, he didn't have a will or anything.
Take what the fuck you want, yeah.
Let's just kind of take what we can. And he had sent me a bunch of pictures, because in our last apartment,
where's the safe?
We had no furniture. We had a couch, and that was it. That was a couch and a coffee table the couch we got from IKEA, the coffee table I've had, actually it was my mom's coffee table in college. So
nice, that's tight.
We had no furniture in our house. He sent, after this dude died, he sent me a ton of stuff and was like, yo, do we want to furnish the apartment? And I was like, sure. And he sent me a video, and in the corner of the video, like passing by, I saw this orange desk chair from like the 60s. And I was like, what the fuck is that chair? And he was like, oh, it's his old desk chair. And I was like, I want that. And he was like, really? And I was like, very much so. And at our old apartment, I didn't even use it as a desk chair. I literally just put it in front of a window.
It's your people watching chair, right?
Yeah, it was straight up.
Hold it up.
I would sit there and
let's say I want to see that.
Show us the chair. Show us the chair.
It's heavy.
Show us the chair.
Look at the vignette on
chair's fucking frame. Show us the chair. Chair.
Oh, it's a chair.
Very, very mid-century modern.
Him telling that story made me think of
it's heavy as hell.
Citizen Kane. Like it was the Rosebud sled at the very end.
Yeah, man.
Mank doesn't deserve a Best Picture nominee.
What?
What does that have anything to do with Citizen Kane?
Because Mank is literally about the making of Citizen Kane.
Word?
And it got a Best Picture nomination?
It did. It stars
really
Gary Oldman,
stupid.
Amanda Seyfried, and was directed by David Fincher, and it's really fucking boring. Okay, so what it's about is the screenwriter of the movie, which originally I think it was called like America, like just America. But basically it was this dude named, I want to say it's Howard Mank. I don't know his first name, but his last name is Mank. And basically like Orson Welles showed up and he was like, you're really good. I want to make this movie with you, because a lot of people don't know when Orson Welles made Citizen Kane, he was like 22.
Yeah, he was young.
And it was like the most money and the most insane thing that anyone had put behind anyone, especially a fucking kid. Like honestly,
it's Herman Mankiewicz is the guy's name.
That's what it is. But
he's an American screenwriter who Orson Welles wrote the screenplay. So him and Orson Welles both wrote the screenplay.
Yeah,
Herman Jacob Mankiewicz.
Essentially, what it was like Orson Welles would show up and be like, "This is my idea," and then Mank was actually the screenwriter.
Squirrel!
Stop saying squirrel!
This one had me fucking
fallen into the river in let go. Rescue build off to the rescue, prepare the lifeline, lower up the and make the
having a stroke
emergency collection from let go the city.
I mean, we haven't talked about Justice League.
I was gonna say we talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
If you want to talk about a movie,
I just can't believe for however long I was like, it's not gonna be worth it. It's not gonna be worth it, and then it was worth it. And I'm like,
that was everybody though, yeah.
I'm happily, because how many times did I say it will not be good enough to have made it worth the wait?
Oh yeah,
it wasn't worth the wait necessarily, but I wasn't waiting. I wasn't the person that was like, bated breath.
Because the thing too that I've like told Vlad hundreds of times is like people were like, oh my God, Warner Brothers fucked up. Like this is what we could have had. No, because Warner Brothers would not have released a 4-hour movie. No. Like that's garbage.
And this is not what would have been shot. This is 5 years later what was shot.
Yep.
Yeah,
with hindsight of how bad the movie was.
They literally had additional
$70 million of reshoot.
Yep.
Like $70 million for reshoots. No, that's clearly not the
I
movie.
will say
that's a whole movie.
I will say this. The $70 for reshoots was not approved. So basically what it was that $70 million was Zack's pay to finish the movie. And instead of taking any pay, he said he shot the entire nightmare sequence and the Martian Manhunter scene, pretty much the whole epilogue. That was all in Zack's backyard.
That's just not true, buddy. He said he was willing to shoot in his backyard. So you're wrong. Suck it.
Ezra Miller is completely CGI. He wasn't on set.
Warner Brothers never approved. Actually, quite the opposite. They said, Zack, you are not allowed to shoot any more footage. So when they gave him the $70 million, he used that to do the reshoots. and then went to Warner Brothers and was like, hey, I didn't take any pay. I put that pay into the budget. I want full creative control and y'all don't have to pay me. And that's how the Snyder Cut got pulled off. He literally had full creative control because he did not get paid.
I didn't see the original one.
What was the fucking point?
What's that?
What was the point if we're not going to get a Snyderverse? What was
It was his movie.
I didn't
He
watch
got to tell his movie.
I watched this one and I was like, it's, in my opinion, a well-made piece of shit. And I mean, it was
just like every other superhero movie,
well, especially the DC ones. But I was sitting there watching it to myself, and like, even though I collectively didn't really enjoy it because it's like poorly written, a lot of bad CGI and so much crap, and it's just nonsense, I'm still like, but you can see all the potential in the storylines that are there that it makes me want more. And then hearing HBO come out or Warner Bros. And say it's not happening, even though now everybody's pining for it. So it's almost shittier that it's out.
Here's the thing. What you need to do, Griff, is you need to watch the theatrical so that you can understand what you watched.
Here's the thing.
No, because you don't get the
here's
point.
The thing.
You're shitting on a movie, but you don't
will
get
say
it.
I agree in the sense that Griff doesn't quite get it because he didn't watch the theatrical, although I think it's past that point. There is bad CGI, but for the most part, I think critiquing CGI is the stupidest thing in the world because no matter what, it's going to be fucking fake, y'all.
It's fake no matter what.
A giant monster, whether it looks real or not, it's not real. So it's
Steppenwolf looks sick as fuck.
Like
his character design's so cool.
Wait, who?
Yeah. Steppenwolf.
Oh,
his character design is
even
so
like
cool.
Thanos. Thanos was incredible CGI, but he's a 10-foot tall purple man. Yeah. That shit looks fake.
The
as
idea
fuck.
is to make it doesn't though. That's the whole point. People
the idea is that it's
good
supposed to suspend disbelief
because it looks real enough to exist in our world. So Thanos, Davy Jones, Smog,
Davy Jones looks so good.
Smeagol, best example because it's actually based on something that you can see in real life. Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movies. Those are examples of phenomenal CGI where you can go, yeah, I could see this like ape talking in our reality. Or like, yeah, that Thanos can be in front of me and that he looks like a person. He's just a
That's the thing. Is like
Bruce Willis.
So impressive CGI to me at least is like backgrounds. Like when they're literally like, oh, we shot.
Yeah, you have no idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We shot like half of this on a stage and then the other half
like
is
Endgame. Like none of it's real.
That's great. But
like
anytime I see a fully CGI. So basically my tiff for this whole like convo comes from, I watched the Honest trailers and they were like one CGI monster talking to another CGI monster. And it's like, yeah, at this point, anything that's a monster is going to be CGI. So people complaining that we get a bunch of CGI, it's like, yeah, that's just like where movies are at, or at least these type of movies are at.
Yeah.
You could not have I guarantee if they made Justice League and we're like, nah, we're going to do practical effects.
Practicals look like shit.
And Steppenwolf, people would shit themselves.
Steppenwolf's just covered in safety pins. He's like, I'm Steppenwolf. He's just a big guy with like a fucking paper mache axe.
Dude.
You can see like the prosthetics like falling off. When they made Finding Nemo and they screened it before, like, you know, they do screenings before the movie comes out, they said the ocean looked so real that it was like, what was the point? You could have just filmed the real ocean. They did such a good job with the water.
That's a lot of Pixar.
Like, yeah, people were just like, that just looks like you could have just used a video of the ocean.
That's Disney. I mean,
they had to make it look worse because people weren't convinced that it was fake.
Dude, that's people's like biggest complaint about like Lion King. Is people are literally
it's
like they look like real lions. They have no emotion.
Yeah,
like what is the point of this? If you watch Lion King, they'll like talk
the live action
the entire time.
They're talking about
the live action.
The live action. You should just clarify that because I didn't know what you were talking about till you
said
yes, they looked real.
The computer generated.
I'm a hot take. The biggest issue was in the fact that they casted Beyonce as Nala. Donald Glover. Well, but also Donald Glover just has like a fairly youthful voice. Mm-hmm. Beyonce sound like a woman. Like literally, there were scenes with Nala and I think her name's Nairobi, which is Simba's mother. It was Nala and Simba's mother. I could not tell who was who because a grown Nala looks the exact same as Simba's mother and they sound the same. So I was like, yo, is this Alfie
that movie
Woodward
was
or is this Beyonce?
Fated to be doomed.
Beyonce brought that movie down a lot.
Which is funny because she was what they used to advertise it the most.
See, I had a buddy a couple years back. He was talking about how, and I mean, it's something that you guys have obviously observed as well. We advertise movies these days based off of their stars, but especially like back in the day with animated movies. I mean, it was just a bunch of random people who were in them, and it would still be a massive Disney production. And he was talking about something that was interesting, which is a movie that could kind of be looked at as a case study of when the idea of like celebrity blockbusters are dying, and it was Skyscraper. Because that was a rock movie at the arguable height of The Rock. And I mean, it has all the glitz and glamour of the action, the charm of The Rock, and this, that, and the third. And nobody saw it.
But it also, because everyone just thought it was San Andreas again. Everyone was like, oh, they're re-releasing San Andreas.
Rampage,
Skyline wasn't,
San Andreas,
and Rampage, and Jumanji.
Skyline wasn't based on anything. It was just like, yo, here's a movie with The Rock.
Exactly.
It's about a skyscraper and he has no leg.
Yeah, but the thing is it's just like, you can't just sell us a star anymore. We want something.
I'll say this.
I can't stand The Rock.
I will say this though, is they truthfully should have advertised that it was Donald Glover because A, he's the actual main character of the movie, like Nala, Beyonce, barely in it. B, Donald Glover has a fucking massive fan base. It's not Beyonce, but so many people love Donald Glover. And I'll say this, Beyonce's fans are the fucking worst. Yep. I love Beyonce's music, her visual stuff. I just watched Lemonade for the first time yesterday. It was great, but 9 times out of 10, if a Beyonce fan is yelling at me about something, I don't give a shit about Beyonce herself. Like we've talked about it.
I can't understand why anybody is that big of a fan of anything.
Thing is though, like Beyonce fans are more likely to be Lion King fans than Donald Glover Gambino fans.
But here's
like just fundamentally they are.
Really, I would say the other way around.
I think honestly more people who listen to Beyonce's music have seen the original Lion King than people who loved than people who got on because of the internet.
I disagree because think about how much of an old nerd Donald Glover is.
I was gonna say Donald Glover
pop
fans,
culture galore.
It's like, dude, we like the community.
Like, but like if you think of like just the base idea of more likely that a little watch an animated Disney movie.
Well, no, I'll also say this. Here's the thing: to white people, Lion King is just another Disney movie. It's a really good one, but literally because we didn't get like Princess and the Frog until what, 2009, 2010, whenever the fuck that came out. That's one of the best
Disney movies ever made.
Lion King, even though it was almost an entire cast of white people, Lion King was the black Disney movie. Like that's literally, it was like, oh, it's based in Africa. This is the black Disney movie. So like black people for their entire lives have at least, since 1996 or 1992 have loved Lion King. And that's the thing is like, I'll say this, a lot more black people listen to Donald Glover than they do Beyonce. A lot of black people listen to Beyonce.
I know. I wasn't talking about anything to do with color. I was saying more women probably watched Lion King as kids than boys.
No, but that's the thing is like when it comes into rate, like that's the thing is like, all the
I fucking love Lion King.
Low key.
Oh, me too. We've all seen it.
Black people.
But we're not like
we're not a microcosm of the world like at all.
It's animated. That's for sissies. There's more boys that were like that as kids that probably grew up and listened to hip hop and rap and fell in love with Donald Glover than girls who were just like, oh my God, I'm going to see every Disney movie and naturally became a fan of Beyonce.
There's also no way that the four of us are anywhere close to like a slice of the world. Like we all have almost the same. No,
we're all in a bubble in the corner.
Like no way are we a microcosm of what is people are.
I get the whole recasting thing. I always, when they were announcing that movie, disclaimer, I haven't seen the live action Lion King and I probably never will. But I always was like, man, why don't they just animate them in the whole Jungle Book style that they wanted to do, like live action, realistic?
Dude, that movie's
make
good.
them look great.
Jungle Book.
Why not just do that and put it over literally the audio that they already have and keep the audio from the original movie? Like, I get it. They wanted to recast.
It's also
people.
different.
Another mistake in the casting was, in fact, James Earl Jones as Mufasa. It sounded terrible. Like at that point,
Mufasa.
At that point, they should have kept his original lines, or just get Lawrence Fishburne. No, Lawrence Fishburne.
That's true.
Through and through. I've said that literally since they announced.
The live action Jungle Book is fucking incredible.
Oh yeah.
The scene with Christopher Walken's what's that orangutan's name?
Yeah, King Louis.
Whatever. Dude, so scary.
Super hectic.
Oh, I want to be like you.
Oh,
and like that's
literally the only
down.
song they kept. The original Jungle Book. The original Jungle Book is a musical. Jon Favreau's is not yet. Christopher Walken randomly sings. Ooh, I want to be like you.
Probably showed up and he was like, John, I'm ready.
He's like,
for
John,
the song.
Go ahead.
And John's like, oh no, Christopher, we're not doing the songs.
I'll go in the booth.
John,
I'll be ready.
I memorized it. What do we sound?
He literally, he's like, have you seen the music video I did where I danced in a hotel? I think I can sing now. Have y'all seen that?
I love Christopher Walken.
No.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the issue. Kind of much like Space Jam. Much like Space Jam. Any movie that came out like 10 years ago that's bad, it's for sure bad. But if you watched it when it came out, is really good. Like
I loved Balls of Fury when it was like
I saw Balls of Fury in theaters, and then when you were like, oh, I rewatched it, I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, yo, this shit slaps.
I had fun watching it. No, he's not.
Who's the black? There's a black guy in it. Who's the black guy in it?
Terry Crews is in it.
That's who it is.
And then George Lopez is in it, dude. And then Maggie, what is it? Maggie G?
Maggie Q.
Or it's Maggie Q. Maggie Q's in it as like basically just Maggie Q.
Oh, Maggie Q.
Which is how she is in like
1000's in it. Robert Patrick.
Dan Folger is the main character.
Dan Folger is the main character. Not Robert Pattinson. Good gosh. What's his name? Patton Oswalt is in it. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh God, Patton Oswalt is in it.
Yeah,
Where'd Austin go?
He said I have to go.
Was Chiwetel Ejiofor's Scar good?
Actually, yeah, and he's a surprisingly really good singer.
Okay, because I remember everyone, and obviously it makes sense that he wasn't in it for age, and also like we don't need more white people. But Jeremy Irons, everyone was like, get Jeremy Irons if you're getting James Earl Jones. And so that's why I was wondering if it was worth recasting Scar, but not Mufasa.
I will say I was mad excited when they announced Hugh Jackman, or it was rumored, that Hugh Jackman is playing Scar. I was like, honestly, that's a good fucking casting. And then they were like, no, it's Chiwetel Ejiofor. And I was like, why?
Yeah.
And then I saw it and was like, oh, wow. He actually did honestly, like I love Donald Glover. I love his music. I love everyone. But truly my favorite song out of the remakes is probably the Scar's one song, because I was so I gotta say though, my viewing experience, I've only seen Lion King, like the live action Lion King, once. I saw it in theaters and I did not get to enjoy it fully because the people in front of me were taking shots of Hennessy the entire movie. To the point. Why were they doing it? I really don't know, because it was two adults in a children's movie. Like just literally like every 5 minutes, they would like try and be sneaky and pour themselves shots out of this bottle. And it just distracted me the entire time. And I was just kind of like, if y'all really don't care to see this movie and you just want to get blasted, wait till it comes out on like home release and watch it at home, because I'm genuinely trying to watch this movie and all I can focus on is you pouring shots directly in front of me.
I gotta say, the best part of that movie, in my opinion, and the best casting all the way around, is Eric Andre as one of the hyenas.
Oh yeah, he's one of the hyenas.
The hyenas bodied it.
Perfect
it was what?
casting.
It was
Leslie Jones, one of them.
Eric Andre, Keegan Michael Key.
And
Yes.
it
was it Leslie
black
Jones?
model actress. I forget her name.
I don't think it was Leslie
Oh,
Jones.
it was Ayo from Civil War and shit.
Here's what they should have done, if you ask me, to get some real numbers up for Lion King, is if they tapped Donald Glover to make the soundtrack the same way they did Kendrick Lamar for Black Panther. That would be a lot of work for him, especially
how much work that would have been.
Yeah, but how crazy.
I actually disagree. I don't think it should have been. Honestly, if they were going to do, I agree that they should have done that. But if they were going to do it, they should have done it much like Black Panther.
Just had Ludwig.
Well, no, with someone who's not involved in the project.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like they did have a fucking god right there, and they still used one of their actors for it.
Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. If you're looking at actors, you're always going to be like, yeah, Donald Glover over Beyonce. But if you're looking at music, there's a solid chance you're going to take Beyonce over Childish Gambino.
But who did the score for the new one?
What?
Who did the score for the new one?
I don't know the score, but Beyonce did do she did an album. I think.
Zimmer?
Well, Hans Zimmer did the original.
It was Hans Zimmer. He came back. Yeah.
Also a lot of Pharrell, Zimmer, Elton John,
and Rice's songs.
Kirsten.
Well, I know Elton John had like the one song in the original.
No, Elton John wrote all the.
Or did he write all the lyrics?
Hans Zimmer did all of the scoring,
extra score, and Elton John did the soundtrack.
Elton John did the soundtrack, and then Tim Rice wrote all the lyrics.
Someone saw a spider, so you have to investigate.
Yeah, so there was a spider, and then it was lost. So I was trying to find it. So that's what I'll be doing once we get off. Just trying to find this spider.
So Vlad knows this, but I can't sleep unless I'm like watching something.
Yeah,
like I have to have something playing when I go to sleep. So and it's usually a rewatch because obviously if it's something I've never seen, I want to
get drawn in.
Watch it. So like last week I watched literally every night I just watched a different John Mulaney fucking special because I've seen them all a billion times. But I started rewatching The Last Dance. And the same thing that happened the first time I watched it, where I was watching it, I was like, damn, I want to play fucking basketball. Mm-hmm. So I've literally been like, I've been all of today, except when I was awake, all of today, and then all of yesterday, I've been like trying to find a like court near me that not a lot of people go to, so that I can like practice getting like decent at basketball. So then I can like start asking my friends, hey, we should play basketball, and I can like not be ass.
So I can't shoot for shit.
What we should do, I'm really inconsistent, but I can shoot otherwise. What we should do is Griff and I should take a week off. Griff comes out. Y'all both take us as your guests. We lift and we go and ball up, and we just do that for a week.
Dude, I'm so down.
That'd be a fun week.
Hell yeah.
I'm down.
Hey, Austin, let me holler at you real quick.
My fault.
Why you going around telling niggas that you fucked my father and shit?
Are you little Rodney's son?
Yes, I'm little Rodney's son.
Little Rodney with the fat ass.
Little Rodney with the fat ass.
Hey, yo, why you plat me, son?
Yo, my fault.
Hey, no, my fault. Hey, run your pockets, man. Hey, kick them bitches out, man. Hey, matter of fact, I'm about to go get a little Travie on your bitch ass. He come with the hard hits. Thank you for watching Indistinct Chatter. I am Tanner.
I'm Austin.
I'm Griffin.
Yo, my fault, OG.
And I'm Vlad.
Our fault, OG.
Check us on the next one. Like, subscribe, get our fucking numbers up, y'all. We love you. Y'all love us from what you say.
Even
if waiters and waitresses.
Venmo at the Dark Station, just cuz you feel
like
generous,
the
support a
photo,
black
like
man
the
today.
video.
Just like it all. Little heart,
I don't
little
care
thumbs
if I
up,
watch it.
whatever the fuck it is, you just do it. God damn it.
I'm alone.
Makes me feel